Hi everyone, welcome to the muster drill. I'm Scott, and that level 4 list just keeps on growing. Hi everyone, welcome back. So here we go again, more islands added to the CDC level 4 don't go there list. And those islands would be Antigua and Bermuda. Now, for Antigua, it also includes their sister island, Barbuda, not to be confused with Bermuda. So Antigua and Barbuda are kind of like a united federation, much like St. Kitts and Nevis. So it does include the Antigua level 4 does include Barbuda. Now these islands were on the level 4 list early on in the pandemic. However, they managed to get control of, a lot of their cases and get reduced or get knocked down to level 3. So it's kind of surprising that, those islands would end up back at, level 4. Even for me personally, more surprising to see Bermuda on there. So, as I talked about in previous videos, so how the CDC arrives at this level 4 designation or classification is based on cases and testing over a 28-day period. So they look at, they look at blocks of 100,000 people. So out of 100,000 people, if there's like 500 or more cases in a 28-day period in a population of 100,000 people or more, and then if the testing, I think it's a combination. If it's that and then the testing is really low, so that would be like 100 tests in that same 28-day period, I guess it kind of indicates to them that they have, that they're not able to keep a handle on it. So so that's really what forces the CDC or brings the CDC to the conclusion that they're going to upgrade that island or that destination to a level 4 for U.S. travel. So like any other island or cruise hotspot or cruise destination that's on that level 4 list, it'll be the locals, the native people or whatever are asked to, kind of avoid the areas where the cruise ships will be or where the excursions will be going to. The cruise passengers will be on bubble tours, going to places they won't, I think they're still allowed to, like, in most places you're still allowed to wander around in the ports, because most of the time, most of these destinations, the port is kind of like an enclosed area. There are shops and stuff in there, but it's usually not just getting off and walking out into the streets. So, so that, that area will be basically, still okay, but otherwise venturing out of there, you'll need to be on a bubble tour, and that of course is also up to the local government. Then this, we go from there until that island gets changed. So it's it's sad to see yet more islands, but it's also part of the thing. I talked about this in yesterday's video, which is or not yesterday's video, I'm sorry, Monday's video. Why are we are we focusing on COVID too much, in that, are we saying, wow, there's COVID cases, like, because there's COVID cases every day, and there's COVID cases whether you're, in, Columbus, Ohio, or, St. John, Antigua. So, there's, I don't know if we're focusing on those cases too much. I mean, why don't you tell me what you think? Tell me, are we focusing on these cases too much? I mean, should we just, get into the mindset that we're going to have to accept and, and understand that these cases are going to happen, and that, I mean, it's not shutting the islands down, I mean, it's just adding a little bit more restriction to, what we do there, and, and advising the local populations to stay away from, places where the cruise ship passengers are probably going to be, tour areas. I'm sure they know better than anybody where those places are, so, they can easily avoid those areas. So, let me know what you think, leave a comment below or whatever, and we'll talk about it. So, all right, so moving on then. So I had talked about this in another video, where the wonder of the seas, I swear to God, I keep muting this thing and it somehow keeps getting unmuted. I don't know what's going on, so I apologize. Anyway, so we talked about this in another video. The wonder of the seas was, scheduled to debut as the latest Oasis class ship in Asia. However, that whole plan was scrapped and, kind of rewritten to bring the wonder of the seas over to the United States, which is, great news. And then it's going to go to the Mediterranean as well. So I think that's great news for us that, we get to see that ship, and, not before it rotates out of Asia or whatever. However, there wasn't a lot of information as to why they had changed that. So now RC, or Royal Caribbean, has now announced that they are adding more kind of cancellations to the Asian restart, and that is going to affect sailings on the Spectrum of the Seas, which is their Quantum Ultra class ship. So the Quantum of the Seas was scheduled to start sailing in Asia, but due to restrictions announced by the Chinese government, which I think is really interesting, that the Chinese government is issuing restrictions on travelers coming from Europe and the United States at the same time the United States is about to ease restrictions for travelers from Asia. So I think that is, rather interesting, that, we're flip-flopping that way. However, that's the way it goes in the world of COVID. So basically what it's coming down to is, the Chinese government is issuing all these restrictions, and as a result, it's forcing Royal Caribbean to change or delay the restart of sailings on the Spectrum. What it's also going to do is affect quite a few of the transatlantic sailings from from January 2020 through all the way through the spring, like all the way through April of 2022, which is a real bummer as well. So it's not just affecting those Asian sailings, but also the transatlantics. And then, of course, that is also going to affect the sailings on quite a few celebrity ships as well, in the same market, doing the same transatlantic, sailings, and the same Asian, 3 and 4 day cruises to nowhere in Asia, which is what the Spectrum was going to do, 3 and 4 day cruises to nowhere. So in any event, Royal Caribbean offering the standard, compensation for 125% future cruise credit or 100% refund. It's a real bummer, but, we'll have to see how it all plays out. Maybe COVID numbers will change, and, the Chinese government will change accordingly. So, and then the last thing I wanted to remind everybody of today is that we're going to be sailing on the Carnival Pride out of Baltimore, September 26th. We can't wait to get on board. Can't wait to take you along with us. We're going to be doing videos from there, and unfortunately no live streams, but we're getting there, and we're getting to the point where we're going to be able to do those. So, but, we're excited to be on there, excited to be bringing you videos from there. We, can't wait for you to tune in and see what, is happening on the Carnival Pride. And so I think that's going to do it for today's video. Thank you very much for tuning in. And if you like this video, please click that like button. And then don't forget to click the subscribe button. It won't cost you anything. You click it once and you're done, and it'll really help this growing YouTube channel out a lot. And then don't forget to click the notification bell so that you know every time we upload a new video. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you next time.